back to my channel and thank you so much for watching. Today I wanted to go over the Christina Grimmie case. She was really popular and well known, so you guys may have heard about it. I just wanted to go over a little bit more details and just talk about some things you guys maybe not have heard about the case. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the event. It took place in Orlando, Florida at the concert venue, the Plaza Live, and it happened on June 10th of 2016. Christina was on tour with the band Before You Exit when this happened. They had a couple performances in other places before they eventually made their way around to Florida. It was there that a crazed fan named Kevin Loibel waited in the meet and greet line after the show and shot Christina. Her brother then wrestled with him and he was shot dead during the struggle. Christina was rushed to the Orlando Health Regional Medical Center where she was later pronounced dead. So next we're going to be talking about our victim, Christina Grimmie. She was born March 12th of 1994 in Marlton, New Jersey. She went to a Christian elementary school, and I believe this is where she developed her really strong and well-known relationship with God and Jesus Christ. She began to sing at age 6 and play the piano at age 10. When she was 15 years old, she decided to upload to YouTube under the username ZeldaLover64. She was a huge Zelda fan, so that's kind of cute. She gained popularity in 2009 with her cover of Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA. Her next biggest cover, and I believe her biggest cover to date, was with her friend Sam Sui. I'm probably saying that wrong, I'm really sorry, but it was their cover of Nelly's Just a Dream, which got over 190 million views just on that video alone. Selena Gomez's mother actually discovered Christina, and both of Selena Gomez's parents became Christina's manager. She then opened up on tour for Selena Gomez, the Jonas Brothers, Rachel Plattenson, and many other famous people. Her first EP was released in June of 2011, titled Find Me. In 2013, she released a full album titled With Love. And she even appeared on one of Shane Dawson's podcasts titled Shane and Friends in 2014 because they were friends at the time. And also in 2014 was when Christina auditioned for The Voice. This is where many of you probably know her from if you have heard of her. And she landed a spot on Team Adam with her cover of Wrecking Ball. And she actually came in third of the whole competition. And after this is when she signed with Island Records and started working on and releasing more music. And she was also working on an acting career, which she starred as, one of the main characters in the movie called The Matchbreaker. And she was eventually back on tour performing this new music. I believe it was for her EP Side A when all of this happened. So she was on tour with the band, like I mentioned earlier, called Before You Exit. And they had already performed a couple of other shows before they made their way down to Florida. So it was there where her and Kevin eventually met after he waited for her in the meet and greet line. I'm kind of repeating myself here just because it plays in towards the end of Christina's life here. So it was then that he shot her 3 times, once in the head and twice in the chest. Her fans and family and friends were all shocked when this happened because it was in the middle of her career, in the middle of her tour, and just people don't really expect for stuff like this to happen. The Grimmies did sue the Plaza Live for the lack of security, which the case was eventually dropped by the Grimmies. I believe it was just due to things were just going back and forth and it was taking too long, so they just decided to drop the case. And they had also started the Christina Grimmie Foundation, which we'll talk more about later, in her name. And also she would have been 27. Her birthday had recently passed here now in 2021. Okay, next we're going to be talking about our suspect. His name is Kevin Loibel. He was 27 years old from St. Petersburg, Florida. He claimed to have played video games with Christina in the past, which her family did deny. And this is when he said he started to fall in love with Christina. And he began to alter his physical appearance to make himself more attractive to her. And he got earplugs, lost some weight, and even underwent some LASIK eye surgery, I believe it was. And he was also working at Best Buy at this time, and he was like little by little telling his coworkers here and there, like, oh, she's gonna be my girlfriend, I'm in love with her, blah, blah, blah. And I think they just thought he was, you know, kind of just crazy and he was just making this up. Like, no way was this gonna happen. They didn't take him serious at all. And it was around this time that Christina started to publicly date her boyfriend, Steven. And Kevin got word of this, saw the pictures, something, and he just got really upset by this because, you know, he believed that they were actually going to date someday. So it was then that he hatched the plot to kill her. I believe he knew she was on tour and figured out she was going to be going down to Florida and found out the day that he can actually go and meet up with her. So then he got a backpack and he actually put 2 handguns in there with extra ammo for each and a large hunting knife. And he then took a taxi, which took a couple of hours to get to Orlando from where he was at. And he went to the concert. There's actual like footage of him during the show where you can just see him in the back with his backpack, just kind of standing there waiting. Then after that, he waited in the meet and greet line where witnesses who saw him said he looked really paranoid and just creepy and nervous, and he was giving off some really bad vibes. Then he eventually made his way up to Christina, which she, you know, went to go give him a hug. And it was then that he shot her 3 times. And then Christina's brother tackled him and they were wrestling a little bit. And then Kevin eventually broke free, went up against the wall and shot himself, and he did pass away. The police say, based off like evidence and stuff, they believe he was planning to make it out alive and go back home. So it was a last minute decision there to go ahead and just take his own life. Lastly, we're going to be talking about Christina's brother, a little bit more about, the rest of her family, the foundation, and just some of the aftermath since all of this happened. Marcus Grimmie is Christina's older brother. He was her manager while they were on tour, and he also played the guitar for her while she sang, like, during the concerts. They were really close, and he fully supported her all the way. He was the one to witness this happen. He was the one to tackle Kevin and stopped him from fleeing the scene, so that's a plus. And ultimately, it made him the hero of all of this. He's remained super strong for his family, for the fans. He has really showed a great amount of strength during all of this, considering everything he's been through. So, the only 2 Grimmies that are left out of the 4 are Marcus and Bud, which is Christina's father and brother. Her mom had recently passed after Christina from breast cancer. Her father and her brother, they do an excellent job at keeping her memory alive. And while the mom was still alive, they all came together and started the Christina Grimmie Foundation, which helps victims of gun violence and people affected by breast cancer in honor of Christina's mom. Christina's funeral was paid for by Adam Levine because he was very, touched and saddened by the loss of her. He had spent a lot of time with her during her time on The Voice. Many other celebrities came out saying that they were sorry and they couldn't believe that this happened, and this just kind of led to everybody being a little bit more aware about security issues. And the next night after Christina's murder was actually the Pulse nightclub shootings, which were unrelated, but both of the shootings brought up more awareness of mental health issues and, gun restrictions around that area. And now her family just continues to keep her music and her memory alive, which they're doing a really good job. They're always, every year they host an event for the foundation. One day I would like to go. But anyways, that's pretty much the end of this video. I want to know if you guys knew all these weird little details. And also, I want to know what you guys think about the fact that this was a crazed fan who did this to her, and not just someone off the street who didn't know her music and didn't like her at one point. How do you think it actually led to that point? Anyways, like this video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe because I'll be working on more cases. Thanks for watching. Bye.